Good morning everybody, my name is Dylan Prez and this video is a special one because first of all it's going to be my first ever video I've made on this new YouTube channel, which is hopefully going to continue. You're going to see more car content, roll racing, car meets, etc. Should be really good. This video is basically going to be about a full breakthrough of my 2016 Volkswagen Golf that I purchased 2 months ago. I purchased it at 56,000 kilometers. It now has around 59,000 kilometers. And in that 2 months, I've done a full stage 2 build on it. Shout out to the boys at Precision Auto who did that for me. And we've also done a few cosmetic mods here and there. So we're going to be doing a full break for you, cover the cost of everything, and you know, obviously how much power it makes as well. So this is my 2016 Volkswagen Stage 2 Golf R, which makes around 400 horsepower. So I've done a few minor cosmetic mods to it. I've added the wind deflectors on both the front and rear of the doors, and then I've replaced the factory mirror caps, which were originally silver, and I've replaced them with a metallic black. As for the badges, they were originally silver as well, so I've blacked out the rear and the front of those badges. And then for our wheel and tyre combo, we've gone with a set of 18 by 8.5 Hustler reps in silver, and then we've got a set of semi-slick racing tyres, which are 235 by 40 on the 18-inch rims. So there's obviously going to be a few other cosmetic mods which will come in the future, but like anything, it's time and money that goes into it. We're going to put a set of lowering springs on it. I was thinking about whether I'll go with coilovers or lowering springs, but we've decided to go with the lowering springs, which should drop it around 20 to 25 mils. And then eventually add a roof spoiler to the car. But yeah, that's it for the cosmetic mods. It's very minimal. We've tried to keep this car looking as stock as possible, but I do like it. It suits me, and once it's lowered, it should come together really well. So this is my engine bay for my Golf R. So we've got all the stage 2 tuning and supporting mods for it. So we've gone with an integrated engineering cold air intake with a intake cover as well. We've also got an integrated engineering turbo inlet pipe. For our front mount intercooler, which can't be seen, we've gone for a JDY intercooler, and then we've also got a JDY 4-inch catless downpipe. Yeah, when I was trying to build this, we wanted to keep it as stock looking as possible, so that for whatever reason we did get pulled over, it would be as minimal as possible. There wouldn't be anything that stuck out that was major, and it keeps that like sort of sleeper build look as well. So everyone always talks about how fast the Golf R is, but unfortunately the interior is one of those things that just don't get mentioned. So let's talk about what it is like to drive day to day in this car. One of the first things you'll notice when it comes to this car is how driver focused everything feels. You're low enough to feel sporty in this car, but it's still comfortable enough for your day to day driving. The Golf R seats are very well balanced between sport and being comfortable as well, and there's a really good balance between the two. One of the only cons that I would say about the interior, and I think it's quite a popular thing as well, is that you'll find with the paddle shifters, they're not quite big enough. They do give that shorter feel. In terms of the radio system, it's got everything you need. It's got Apple CarPlay, it's got Android Auto, and it's got that real modern day feel that even though this is a slightly older car, we're going on to 9 years now, it does provide that still up-to-date technology and doesn't feel overly outdated. And if you're someone that does have kids and you do want a sporty hatchback, you do have enough room in the rear seats to obviously fit other people. It doesn't just have to be kids. If you're fitting adults, I've driven plenty of times with 4 or 5 people in this car, and everyone's sat comfortable enough that we're able to go on long drives and enjoy those. So let's quickly cover some of the cons on this car. So I do live in Australia, where unfortunately we do get that really high 40-degree heat, especially when it hits peak summer. Sometimes we can be 45 degrees, whatever that is Fahrenheit, I couldn't tell you. With the rubbers on this car, I have found that in my short ownership, they do tend to melt in that heat. My car is primarily kept in the garage, however, when it does see the sun, these melt quite quickly. Another thing that it wasn't a big issue, however, it was something that I didn't like, was the amount of silver on this car. So obviously we had the OEM factory mirror caps, which were silver originally. However, I fixed that now and I've changed it to the metallic black. And then another thing is the front and rear badges. They get that chromey sort of look, and I'm not a huge fan of that on these cars. So those may be my main two cons. In terms of the driving, the performance, the interior, I can honestly say there is not that many cons. I have had zero dramas in my short time of ownership. I've driven nearly 3,000 Ks in it, and I've loved every bit of it. I can honestly say that if you are looking at a hot hatch, I highly recommend the Golf R. There is obviously different options out there, like your Ford Focus, etc., cars like that. But this is one of those cars where I feel like you are getting a really good bang for buck in terms of performance, your reliability, durability, etc., everything like that. So if you are looking at getting one, highly recommend it. Alrighty, so let's get into the huge breakdown of all the parts that have gone into my Stage 2 Golf R build. We're just going to start off with the engine parts, how much each one costs. When I got this done, it was a package, so that included labour, parts, tuning. So I won't talk about that price, but I've got a more accurate price online, what it would set you back for the exact same parts that I'm running in my build. So we've got an integrated engineering cold air intake, which is $860 online. The integrated engineering turbo inlet pipe is $260. The JDY 4-inch catless downpipe is $1,500, and the JDY front mount intercooler is $1,500 as well. And then if you want to get yourself a decent set of spark plugs, which is highly recommended with these builds, they're going to run you between $170 and $200, okay? So if you were to get the integrated engineering cold air intake cover like I have, that is completely optional. You don't have to do it, but we were trying to keep a mostly stock looking build. That's going to run you back an extra $280 online. So if you were to add up all the parts, we're looking at about $4,600 in total. And those are for good quality parts for a Stage 2 build. If you were to get the tuning done, which includes a ECU tune and a DSG tune, meaning the transmission tune, you're looking at about $2,500 roughly. One other thing I kind of forgot to mention is my exhaust and what exhaust system am I running. So I've obviously got the 4-inch JDY catless downpipe. Paired with that, I've got a exhaust valve catback exhaust. I bought this over the Christmas break and it cost me $1,850, which was a really good deal. That was plus installation as well. I do really like the sound of the exhaust when the valves are closed. However, when the valves are open, it does usually tend to give off that DSG farty Golf typical noise. So driving with the valves closed on a day-to-day basis is quite nice. I will play some clips with the valves open and with the valves closed, so you can kind of compare the difference, and then also what it sounds like with launch control with the valves open as well. And that pretty much sums up our video, so I do hope you enjoyed. This is my first ever video, and hopefully we will continue to make more. If you do have any questions, queries, concerns, anything, feel free to message my Instagram. Otherwise, you can comment down below as well. On my Instagram, I usually reply within the hour, so feel free to do that. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.